When reimagining IP, how do you balance nostalgia and fandom against refreshing? And I imagine the playbook helps you with that too.
Yeah, look, I think another great question. There's a time and a place for both, right? You want to certainly embrace and, as I said, recognize the importance of heritage, legacy, the core sort of DNA that makes a piece of IP what it is, and that you have to be really careful about. And so, we're very thoughtful about what we do, but there's also an opportunity at the time and the benefit of refreshing. And I think as we look at our portfolio, there's times where we do a little bit of both. We have, again, these multi-generational, universal pieces of IP, these brands and these franchises. And the goal for us is to remain as consistent as possible. Where there's opportunities for us as we look forward is Barney, which we've talked about in the past, is a really great example. We certainly wanted to keep Barney core to what makes Barney, Barney. Right, but we also wanted to modernize it to a certain degree to have it be refreshed, to use your term, for today's audience. That falls very much within a strategy we've deployed called New-stalgia, N-E-W-stalgia, where Barney for preschoolers today is brand new. But for people who grew up with it, like myself and perhaps you and others, right, there's a nostalgia factor. And so the importance here of creating that piece of content, that preschool show, was where you could have co-viewing that is really authentic to parents and kids at the same time. Oftentimes, sometimes parents are in the room while the kids are watching. This is something they could watch together and enjoy, and sort of the parents will dip into the nostalgia factor, but for the kids, it's brand new. So that's where we've been able to find that harmony and for that balance. What's interesting for us also is some of our properties come with canon and they come from a universe. So an example would be Monster High, right? There's a universe of Monster High characters. We'll create prequels and sequels and side stories and new characters and certainly extend, but it comes with it. It's from a universe, it comes from core canon. And that's really great, and it's something that we continue to lean into from a narrative and a storytelling standpoint. Also, what's really interesting, and some of the stuff I get excited about, is where we have these globally iconic, incredibly high awareness toys that like Uno or Viewmaster or Magic 8 Ball that have people know and love, but there is no story yet. Right? It's white canvas. We're able there to create new stories, have creatives bring and imbue sort of their vision to these pieces of property and bring and really create new stories where none existed before, and create canon, create universe. And so it's an interesting way that we sort of think about our portfolio. There is no one way we do it. We again really want to just extend that emotional connection to our fans, and by telling stories, certainly that balance, nostalgia, and sort of the fandom that exists today is an effort and certainly an area of focus for us.
Barney is a big thing, isn't it? I remember when my daughter was in preschool and suddenly she came home talking about Barney, and it was Barney 24 hours a day. It's amazing the pull that character has. How are you presenting him to little ones today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's Barney 24 hours a day for me as well. I could probably find my Barney Crocs in here somewhere. Look, we recognize that Barney, and this is where we're continuing to mine our portfolio, and we've done it with Monster High, we've done it with Polly, and we're going to continue to mine the portfolio and really, take these properties and polish them and then bring them back. For us, with Barney's World, it was an opportunity to bring Barney back to preschoolers. And so we've developed this content. We have our show. It's airing now. We're very pleased with the quality, certainly, of it, and the performance has been great. And it's rolled out on Max and Cartoon Network and Cartoonito. For us, we really recognize Barney's passionate fan base. Again, oftentimes millennials and Gen Zs who are now parents of themselves, and provided a unique opportunity for us then to relaunch the franchise, building on what makes Barney Barney, right, and the nostalgia factors I talked about earlier, but also that creating something that for today was authentically Barney, but also representative of stories that we want to put into the world, right? Core messages of self-care and love, kindness, consideration, compassion. These are all authentically Barney. We think the new content certainly does that in a beautiful way with music and incredible characters. But it's something that both parents and this new generation can embrace and engage with on their own. So it's a lot of purple dinosaur for us. We're really excited about it, and we'll continue to lean in there.
So you mentioned when you were talking about Barney, the issues of kindness and love. How important is it today to help children deal with social emotional issues?
Yeah, look, I think at Mattel, it's our goal is really to empower generations to explore the wonder of childhood and reach their full potential. Barney is a great example of how its messages are considered relevant today, and they do provide a foundation for addressing social emotional issues. But at the end of the day, it's also about great creative and great storytelling, and so you're able to have that marriage here. Barney provides comfort and happiness, especially in what is a very fast-paced and complex world. And we hope that Barney will spark conversations between parents and children about kindness and self-love and community, and reminding children to reflect those feelings inward. We've modernized it, but we haven't modernized it where we've in any way moved away from what makes it core Barney. And so we feel like, this show is a really great example of how we lean in. But again, at Mattel, as I said, our goal is to empower generations to explore the wonder of childhood and reach their full potential. You could see that manifest itself across everything we do on the toy side, all the way into what we do in, content and, other experiences.
And last but certainly not least, as you mentioned earlier, this year Mattel is turning 80. It's the
Yes.
80th anniversary. A little bit, takes a little to wrap the head around that. What plans are there to mark the anniversary?
Yeah, I know 80 years, it's amazing, 8 decades. And I would say it's only the beginning. We have so many exciting things in front of us. To celebrate, we have some amazing plans across our iconic brands. Really Barbie, Hot Wheels, Barney, Fisher-Price, Uno, and more. You're going to see everything from nostalgia picture books that harken back to the history, a digital game featuring all of our characters, again, very much in, reflecting the IP throughout these 8 decades. We're going to have an incredible exhibition that's going to take you back to your childhood. We're going to be doing some really great things across toys and content, consumer products and experiences, and we will be opening our first themed park experience. Mattel Adventure Park will also be a portion of it. And so there's a lot. Look, for 8 decades, we've been inspiring generations with iconic toys and experiences while giving back to those in need. And we're committed to continuing to spearhead the joy of play. And as I said, we can't wait to see what the next 80 years are going to bring.